love to explore nature. Some of my best friends are animals.
I'm Isabel Yamazaki. I love technology and inventions. Yep, I'm a geek. Hi, Giles.
Hi, I'm Giles. Artificial intelligence at your service.
Together, we're exploring how amazing discoveries in nature
are helping us design brilliant new human inventions.
New technology that will make our world a better, greener, and more amazing place to live.
Today, we find out which animal might help us design the ultimate off-roader.
Hop to it.
And what creature can help us make better and safer submarines.
Periscope.
The answers will amaze you because they're wild but true.
Helmet.
Check. Seatbelt?
Check. Nerves of steel.
Definitely.
Let's go for a drive.
Awesome. We're in an off-roader, and we're definitely going off. Right? Yeah! That was so cool. Can we do it again?
I think we've used enough fuel for one day. Hey.
You are absolutely right, Isabel. As effective as the big wheel car is in going over all sorts of obstacles, it is a gas guzzler. Can't we come up with a better off-roader?
The ultimate off-roader. One that can go anywhere, even places that one can't, and can do it energy efficiently. I love it.
That sounds so cool. Is that our challenge today?
Yep, people are already on the case. It's happening. I want you to discover what they're thinking. Here's a clue.
What was that? It looked like a tail.
Yeah, it did. It kind of looked like a robotic tail.
That's your mission. Find an animal on which to base the ultimate off-roader. Tell me what it is and why it might be the solution.
Okay, well, I think for this answer, I'll have to go off-road myself. I think the answer to our off-roader question is all around us in nature. Animals don't use roads. They have their own way of moving. They run, they crawl, and they fly. Some swing through the trees. Others prefer to keep their feet firmly on the ground. Oh, look, it's a red kangaroo. Now, the kangaroo's legs allow it to jump up to 11 or 12 meters. They can reach speeds of up to 70 kilometers an hour. Now, another really interesting thing about these guys is when they jump, the up and down motion helps them inhale and exhale. They're very efficient. Believe it or not, hopping is actually a very good way to get around all kinds of obstacles. Some macropods, like the rock wallaby, can actually scale cliffs and large rock walls. Isabel, I've found the perfect off-road animal, and it gets around by hopping. How cool is that?
Hopping? Yeah, that sounds good.
But I think we definitely need to take a closer look at how macropods hop.
A macropod is basically any member of the kangaroo family, including wallabies, catamelons, and several others. What they all have in common is hopping.
Isabel, this is no time for exercise.
I'm not exercising, I'm experimenting. And hopping is a really good way to get over obstacles. And it's energy efficient, so I'm just trying to figure out why. Your turn.
Okay. This is fun.
Okay, now hop off and try jumping on the ground.
Okay. There we go. Let's see. This is certainly a lot harder.
Yeah, I know. So there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to hop efficiently. Hey, Giles.
Did I hear someone requiring the mind of an artificial intelligence? What you're talking about is the conservation of energy. It's a basic principle of science. By hopping on the spot, all the energy you have is being absorbed by the ground and your body. So it's hard work. But by hopping on the trampoline, the springs are storing a lot of energy that would have been lost. And they give it back to you when you next jump up into the air.
So the kangaroo has solved the problem of energy conservation because it somehow uses its body as a giant shock absorber.
Well, that's up to me to know, and you to find out.
I think we need to go check out some shock absorbers.
Well, here you go.
So there's the shock absorber near the wheel.
Yeah, and look at these really big springs spiraling around.
Just like the springs on a mini trampoline. So when this vehicle hits a bump in the road, these springs will coil and then uncoil, and then the energy in the springs are then going to be transferred to the shock absorber.
The kangaroo must have something like these springs in its leg so that they can take up most of the impact when it jumps, because it would probably break its bones if it was going that fast and landing that hard on the ground.
Yeah, I think we need to test out hopping on a shock absorber and see how it helps us to hop. I know just the thing.
All right. We're about to test out hopping on this shock absorber and see if it can help us hop.
The mattress is acting like a shock absorber does. It's absorbing the shock of me hitting the ground.
Whoa, it's really, really hard to jump on.
I know, but it's just absorbing all the shock and not making it any easier.
No.
Hey.
Hello.
Great work, you two. Shock absorbers make hopping harder, not easier.
So we still don't know why kangaroos hopping is an efficient way to get around.
You're on the right track. But the really special thing about kangaroo hopping is not shock absorption, but shock recycling. It's to do with classic engineering.
Well, I know that kangaroos have incredibly strong legs. In fact, they actually have some of the strongest legs and the most muscles of any mammal in the world. Could that help us?
Kangaroos do have huge leg muscles, but they also have another trick. I suggest you hop on back to the lab, and I'll show you something.
All right, bye.
See ya.
Kangaroos have amazing Achilles tendons, incredibly elastic ligaments that literally put the spring in their step. In fact, they're capable of storing around 7 times more energy than the limbs of similar-sized animals that walk on all fours.
So efficient hopping is actually more to do with big ligaments and not big muscles.
Now you're hopping along on the right track. Do you remember the tail I showed you? Meet the Bionic Kangaroo, designed by German company Festo.
Whoa, that's so cool.
It's amazing. It moves just like a kangaroo.
So how does it work?
Why don't you ask the scientist who designed it? He's waiting to talk to you, Mr. Elias Nubin.
Hey, we want to know how you made a hopping robot.
First of all, we are using an artificial Achilles tendon, which is really quite similar to the Achilles tendon of real kangaroos. We're using this Achilles tendon to store the energy from the landing phase and to reuse this energy for the next jump. Imagine a rubber ball, for example. You can let it fall from a certain height, and it will jump back almost to a starting point again. So we just need to add this amount of small energy to get the same height again.
So it's recycling energy.
Yes, we're recycling the kinetic energy from the landing phase. We can store it in this elastic part, the Achilles tendon, and we can reuse this energy for the next jump.
Oh, that's so cool. Thanks for all your help.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
So they actually recycle kinetic energy. So for each hop they take, you can spring them into the next one. It's amazing.
I have a great idea.
Okay.
Okay, so Robert, this is a special watch. It's going to take your pulse and tell us your heart rate. So first of all, let's measure your resting heart rate.
Okay, here we go.
So your resting heart rate is 54 beats per minute.
Awesome. So what next?
Hop to it. Let's check it now.
Okay. Oh, whoa, 106. That's nearly double last time. Okay, so what are we going to do next?
This is your simple version of a kinetic energy recycler.
Thanks. But I think I would just call this a pogo stick.
It is a pogo stick. Hop to it. Okay,
Ooh, right.
let's check it now.
87. That's a lot less.
So, by jumping around in the pogo stick instead of having your feet on the ground, I think you experience some of the benefits of recycling kinetic energy through the springs on the pogo stick.
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar to a kangaroo.
We cracked it!
Yes, finally.
All we need to do is create a kinetic energy recycler that can help us bounce across all sorts of off-road surfaces.
Yeah, because I certainly don't think this pogo stick could do what an off-roader could do.
Well done, you two. Recycling kinetic energy is indeed the key to energy efficiency, as well as a great way to leap over obstacles. The big-wheeled car also recycles kinetic energy, but on a bumpy surface, it results in very erratic bouncing. That's why it needs shock absorbers. If an off-roader could copy the kangaroo, the bouncing could be far more targeted, leaping over uneven ground. Try searching for the kangaroo-inspired Subaru.
Did he just say Subaru?
Isn't that just a car company?
Let's check it out.
Okay. Cool.
Wow.
Now that is a real off-roader.
It's so amazing. It's like a one-legged kangaroo, except you sit in it.
Yup, the Japanese designers were interested in making something unique and environmentally friendly. And they figured that since we recycle all sorts of things, newspapers, plastic, why not recycle kinetic energy and get way off-road at the same time?
So maybe one day we could race a kangaroo up a mountain using this ultimate off-roader.
Or we could hop with them at up to 70 kilometers an hour.
Just like the Subaru.
Yeah, and the most amazing thing is that all the concepts it's based on are wild but true.
Can you guess where I am? Here's a clue. Periscope! I'm in a submarine. And I can see buildings. That's because I'm in the city right now. But usually you'd be looking up to other boats at sea. But what I would really like to see is the world far, far below. We know so little about what lives on the ocean floor. 95% of our ocean's depths are completely unexplored. It's really hard to go deep underwater and to do it safely. I wonder if it's possible to design a more maneuverable submarine so that we can better research the ocean depths.
Glad you've come up for air, Isabel. I was getting worried.
Hi, Giles.
Since you're so keen to head under the sea, I've got something you might like to see.
What is that, Giles?
A glimpse of a new type of submersible that is extremely maneuverable and much safer than traditional submarines. And guess what? Its design borrows a trick from an animal that doesn't even live underwater.
Really? Well, I hope Robert has a better idea of what that animal could be. Bye, Giles.
Oh.
Hey, Robert, I have a new mission for you. Find an animal that doesn't live in water, but has inspired a highly maneuverable deep diving submersible.
A deep diving submersible?
Here's a clue.
Okay, I'll see what I can find.
So, something that dives. What about crabs? They dive down into their burrows, quick as a wink. Or what about frogs? They kind of jump and dive, but that can't be it. Frogs live in the water, which Giles said this animal doesn't. What about a flying snake? They jump from high in one tree to get to the next.
But I don't think that's really diving.
At least, not in the way a submarine needs to dive.
Oh, Robert, are you stuck? Has your investigation taken a dive?
Yeah, I think a little bit.
Things might be looking up.
Looking up. Huh.
Ah, of course. The eagle dives when it's catching its prey.
You're You're circling the right idea, Robert, but it's not just eagles. Other raptors like the peregrine falcon and the Andean condor also do the same thing. That's enough clues for now.
But I'm on the right track, aren't I? It's got to have something to do with birds diving.
Bye. I've gotta fly. What have you got there, Isabel?
I'm building my own version of a submarine so that I can see how it can keep buoyant underwater. So I've got these holes here which are going to be letting the water in. I'll use these fishing sinkers to weigh it down.
Why does it need to be weighed down?
The weights are just going to help keep it balanced and in the water. And I'm going to put in this plastic tube.
And what will the tube be used for?
The plastic tube's just going to allow me to pump the air into my bottle so that it can go up and down.
Interesting.
And we'll see how it goes. Slowly filling up. So now when I let it go, it should sink to the bottom. Yeah. Now let's see what happens when I pump air into it. It's rising.
Very good, Isabel. You are investigating the principle of buoyancy. Objects are buoyant, they float, when their weight is less than the liquid they are displacing. And they sink if they weigh more than the liquid they are displacing. You're changing the bottle's weight by changing the amount of air or water in the bottle. So, what have you discovered?
Well, it works just like a submarine, but it's basically just going up and down. It's not very agile, and I can't imagine it being able to zip around underwater in the deep. I'm going to investigate some more. Okay. So this is a real submarine, and to control its buoyancy, this submarine has ballast tanks that can be alternately filled with water or air to make it go up or down in the water. But it can't maneuver very well in tight spaces.
I've always thought you were a deep thinker, Isabel. Many submarines have used the principle of ballast to rise and sink in the water. But the submersible that I showed you doesn't use this principle. It cleverly uses another principle.
Isabel,
Oh, hey, Robert.
I think I found the animal.
What is it?
Well, I think we have to look more at birds of prey because they can swoop and dive all over the place.
So an animal that flies inspires a submersible that sinks.
Giles actually did talk about flying, so I think it would have to do with wings.
That makes sense, because it would be good to have something to help control this submarine, because it just goes up and down. It's not very maneuverable. I've got an idea. Let me get something with wings.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to attach this plane to this string. Can you help me?
Yep.
Okay, so now let's see if we can get this to fly underwater like it would in the sky.
All right.
Okay,
So we'll put it in.
okay, ready?
Huh. That looks really cool. It's certainly flying like a plane would. But it's actually lifting up and not down like a submarine should.
Hey, you just said the operative word, Robert. Lift. Wings, or more accurately aerofoils, create lift when they move through the air. The shape of the wing creates a pressure difference on the upper part of the wing compared to the lower part, which pushes the wing upwards. This works for both plane wings and bird wings. Shaping a wing to create lift is a basic principle of wing design.
Okay, so it's all about lift. Let's take another look at raptors' wings.
The way they fly is amazing, but they use their wings to fly up into the air. Our sub has to go down deeper into the ocean.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing. Everything seems upside down.
Say that again.
I said everything's wrong. It's all upside down.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
Now, let's try this again if the plane is upside down. All right. Oh, wow!
Hey!
It's going down.
Yeah, it's not going up anymore. I totally get it now. Being able to fly underwater is all about the principle of lift, just upside down.
Exactly. Negative lift.
Robert and Isabel, you've flown to great heights and plumbed amazing new depths today. flying underwater is all about negative lift. Have a look at this. This submersible is named after a bird of prey. It's called the Deep Flight Super Falcon.
Oh, wow.
This submersible uses its wings underwater rather than in the air. And it uses these wings to fly down rather than up. And guess what? The inventor of this submarine, Graham Hawkes, is waiting for you online.
Hi, Isabel. Hi, Robert.
Hi, Mr. Hawkes. We love your submarine. So it's more like a bird than a fish?
They are an aerofoil. They do work like aeroplane wings, exactly the same. But the lift section, what engineers call a lift section, is upside down. So as the wings move through the water, they actually hold us down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how deep can your submarine go, Mr. Hawkes?
Well, we built one that goes all the way to the bottom of the planet for Steve Fossett to set a record. That was 37,000 feet.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a long way down. Very scary. But the better one we have, that Super Falcon, we go down so fast, it just comes at you. There's a 60-foot-long animal down there called a giant squid that humans have never seen. Think about that.
Whoa.
I mean, there's just so much.
That's incredible. Thank you for talking with us, Mr. Hawkes.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mr. Hawkes.
Goodbye. Thank you. I'll see you down there.
Yeah, let's get down. Bye.
Bye.
One final point, guys. When the Super Falcon isn't moving, when it isn't creating negative lift, it just floats back to the surface, making it much safer too.
Oh, wow. Imagine being able to fly underwater.
Or glide with a great white shark.
Or go rolling with whales.
Or hear a song from a whale.
We could even find treasure.
It's wild.
But true.